This conference will now be recorded.
Now, so in the previous session, we have discussed about the web services. We have discussed how to create the web services in Salesforce, which is RESTful web services, and how can we specify the resource name for each and every web service by using @REST resource annotation, and then how can we access that resource by using a URI that is also called as endpoint. We have discussed. Now today we'll see how can we perform the operations by using these web services. Now let's see. So by using these web services, how can we perform the operations inside that Salesforce instance? Now let's see with the help of the various methods. So as part of these methods, we are having the 5 methods has been given by the HTTP protocol, like as @HTTP get, HTTP delete, HTTP post, HTTP patch, HTTP put. These are the 6 methods has been given by the HTTP protocol, which can be used to perform the operations on your object records, okay, through with the help of this web service. Now, so let's see each and every annotation one by one. What exactly this get method? How can we get the resources? Now let's see. Now, @HTTP get. So what is this get method? What is the use? Okay, now let's see. Now, so basically, this annotation is used to get the resources, that means information or the records from the provider to the consumer. That means what? Whenever if you want to get the resources, okay, from the Salesforce to the third-party system, at that time, the third-party system will be using the method called as HTTP get. Now, so this method is used to get the required resources, okay, from the Salesforce instance, nothing but from the provider. So whenever we are going to be using these methods can be applicable only on the method level, okay, only on the method level. Now, so in this case, how can we specify? Okay, how can we specify that method? So what exactly the method? Now let's see. Now, the HTTP get method is used to get the required resources or information or data from the provider, okay, from the provider. That means are from the server. From the server, if you want to get the required information, then we are going to be using this get method. Now, this annotation can be applicable. Annotation can be applicable only on the method level. That means on the procedure level, not at the class level over here. Then how can we use this one? Now let's see practically in this case. Okay, now let's see practically. Now, in this case here, I'm giving a note point over here. All the web service methods should be defined with static keyword. Whatever the web service methods that you are going to define, those methods should be defined with a static and global, with a static keyword, and should be defined with global access specifier. Global access specifier. So whatever the methods you are going to define inside this, okay, web service class, that method should be defined with the help of Okay, the global access specifier and the static keyword. Now, so what will be the syntax over here? Now let me explain this syntax. Syntax, you can specify at the rate http get and specify the method global static. You can return type, specify the return type, and we can specify the method name. Okay, specify the method name. So write the business logic. If you want to pass any parameters, we can pass the parameters also. Parameters list. We can pass one or more number of parameters also. Now, so in this case here, okay, now in this case, so we are going to be defining this method inside the class. Like yesterday in the previous session, we have discussed how to define a web service class. Already we have discussed in our previous session. Now, so now here in this case, whatever the method that we have defined inside this web service class, okay, that can be accessible by using this resource name, and then what type of method that we need to use. That means what type of operation you want to do. I want to get some records, something but fetching some records from the Salesforce, okay, server. At that time, we are going to be using the method called as HTTP get method. HTTP get method is used to get the required information, nothing but the records from the Salesforce server to the third-party system. So in this case, whenever we are going to be using this HTTP get method, then HTTP get method should be okay always defined with a global access specifier and then static keyword. All the web services method should be global and this should be defined with static. Now, so in this case here, let's see. For example, whenever I'm going to be defining this HTTP get method, okay, now let's see. Now, for example, assume that I'm defining a web service class. I'm defining a web service class. For that one, we are using an annotation at the rate REST resource. I'm using this URL mapping. In order to specify the resource name, I'm using accounts service, accounts service /star. Now, I'm creating a web service class where the resource name should be at the that will be accounts service. I'm preparing the class global class accounts helper. This is the class. Now this class I'm going to be exposing as a RESTful web service where this web service class can be accessible with the help of a resource name called as accounts service. Now, so now through this web service, I would like to get the account records available inside my account object. For that one, what we can do, I'm preparing a method. Global static void, or we can specify the list of account records. It has to return the records. List of account because this method is going to be returning the records here. Get all accounts. Get all accounts. Here I'm writing the business logic. Write the business logic to get all account records.
We don't write void, sir.
We can't write void because it has to return the records, right? We have to specify that return type. Now, so now in this case, this method is we are using for what to get the records. So that we have to define this method with the help of a HTTP method called as HTTP get. That means this method is going to be indicating this this method is going to be indicating that this is the annotation. Annotation is nothing but it's a method, HTTP class method. This get method is going to be indicating this. This is the method which has to be get invoked, which is used to get some required resources. Now, sometimes I would like to collect only the banking account record. Then what we can do for that one, for example, we are preparing this method. HTTP get. I'm indicating global static void, sorry, so only that list of account. Here I'm indicating list of account. Get banking accounts. Here I'm writing some logic over here. Write the logic to get only banking accounts. In order to get only the banking account records, I'm going to be using this method. But in this case, what will happen whenever we are going to be creating, okay, whenever we are creating the web service methods inside this web service class, this is the web service class. In this web service class, we can't define two methods with the same annotation. Okay, this is the fundamental rule. It's a common question in entry point of view also. Upon preparing the web service class, inside this web service class, we can't define two methods with the same annotation HTTP get. So here also HTTP get, here also HTTP get. It will be giving the compilation error. We can't define two methods with the same annotation inside this web service class. This is a fundamental rule which we need to follow. That means we can't define two methods with the HTTP get annotated methods. So this is the fundamental, okay, this is the fundamental principle of web service class. Okay, this is the fundamental principle of web service class. Now, so now let me give that note point over here. That is, we can't create multiple methods with the same annotation. Okay, that is, we can't create the multiple methods inside the web service class with the same annotation. This is the fundamental rule. Now, let me give the note point. We can't define two methods inside the web service class with the same annotation. The same annotation. That is, we can't define two methods with the HTTP get annotated. Like as HTTP put, HTTP post, also anything. We can't define two methods with the same annotation. That is a fundamental rule we have to follow. Okay, now. So now here in this case, we are going to be indicating this. For example, now here we can able to specify this method like this. Only one method we have to prepare over here. So this is the fundamental rule. Now, in this case, how can we access this resource over here? You know that, okay? You know that. How can we access these resources? You know, in order to access that resource, we are going to be using this endpoint URL that is also called as URI. Then how can we invoke this one? By using the various options, okay? By using the various options, like, let me explain. How can we access this? Now, accessing the web service. In this case, how can we access this web service? In order to access that web service, we are going to be using this URL. So what is that URL? Now let's see. Now, for example, already we have discussed HTTPS. You can specify your server number. Server number like some ap16.services/services/apex/rest/ what is that resource name? Account service. This is the account service. Okay, now, so now here in this case, so how can we invoke this one? This is the URL we know, but from where we can invoke this one? We can invoke the web service from the below tools. By using the below tools, we can able to invoke this web service. The first one is Workbench tool. This is the best tool which we are using. Most of the Salesforce developer prefer to go with this Workbench. Second one, by using Postman tool. Third one, by using through Apex programming. Through Apex programming also we can able to invoke this. Fourth one, by using integration tools. Like for example, MuleSoft, okay, MuleSoft, and then TIPCO, web methods, etc. And the fifth one, by using third-party applications. By using all these resources, we can invoke this web service class. So whatever the web services that are defined, those web services we can able to invoke, okay, by using these tools. We can use Workbench tool, or we can use Postman tool, or by using Apex programming, or by using that integration tools also, or by using some third-party applications. Third-party applications means from Java application, .NET application, from SAP application, from different applications also we can invoke these web services. Now, so in this case, how can we prepare these RESTful web services? Okay, let me explain practically in this case. Okay, now let's see. Let me explain a small use case so that we can understand practically how to prepare our own web services. We can understand each and every annotation I will explain, and then I will show you some practical use cases also. Along with that, I will be giving some assignments also to you over there. Now, so let's take a small use case.
Now, will you show all three methods, first three methods? Workbench, Postman, through Apex?
No, we are going to be discussing about Workbench and then Apex programming.
Okay, what about Postman tool?
So we are not using that here. It's a separate third-party tool.
Okay.
Okay. Apex programming means you are invoking in a execute anonymous window, sir?
No, that is not possible because here we have to write some additional code. Okay. For that one, we have to use a protocol called as OAuth authentications. Okay, OAuth 2.0. By using this OAuth 2.0, we can able to invoke these web services. How to implement that, we'll see practically as well.
Okay.
Because for that one, you will be having a lot of mechanisms will be available. Like for example, whenever if you want to invoke that web services from the third-party applications, or if you want to invoke that RESTful web services through Apex programming, we have to take some specific resources. Let me explain like. So for that one, we have to use a specific architecture as part of OAuth 2.0. We have to follow some set of steps are available like this. We can prepare our own web services. Okay, then we can able to consume the web services from a separate Salesforce application, separate Salesforce organization by using this lot of steps. Lot of steps will be getting involved. Okay, so in this case, we have to follow all these steps by using this OAuth authentication, because here it will be having some authorization server also will be getting involved. So that here we need to get some access token. Through this access token only we can able to access that. For that one, we need to make a request to that authorization server to get the access token first, and then we need to invoke that actual web service here. Okay, there is a lot of steps are involved. For that one, we are using a feature called as connected apps. So what exactly the connected apps and how to create the connected apps, everything we'll see practically. And along with that, we can able to invoke these web services from the web triggers also. So whenever if you want to invoke the web services from the triggers, then we are going to be using triggers, and then we are using future methods. Okay, you know what exactly the future methods also. So for that one, we are following a specific architecture. Okay, so for the future methods, we are going to be following a specific architecture. We need to create some triggers also. We need to create some future methods also. By using that, we can invoke the web services. Those are also called as future callouts. We'll see all these architectures when moving forward. I will show you. Okay, with the practical use cases. With a live example, I will show you practically. Okay, now. So now let's see, how can we create the web services in order to get the resources, okay, from the required, okay, object from Salesforce. So now let me take a small use case over here. Now, create a RESTful web service. Create a RESTful web service to get all the account records, exist inside the object. Create a RESTful web service to get all the account records exist inside my account object. Then how can we create this RESTful web service? Now let me explain with a practical example. How to create this web service, and then how can we invoke this web service, how you will be getting the response, I will show you practically. Now, let's see the practical use case. How can we do this? Let's go to your Salesforce instance. Let me go to the developer console now. Now, I need to create a web service. How to create the web service? Okay, now let's see. Web services means what? Simply a class, normal class. You know how to create the classes, how to prepare the methods, how to write the business logic, everything you know. Same concept, no change. But the normal classes and methods we are accessing within the organization, but these web services can be accessible from by third-party application. That's it, the difference, nothing else. Okay, now, so let me create my class. I'm creating a web service class in order to get all the account records. Account records service. I'm giving the class name as, okay, account records service. Now tell me what needs to be done to make this class as a web service. For that one, define the class as global. Okay, the first step is make the class as global. And then whenever if you want to access this class by a third-party system, we have to give a resource name. So what is that resource name? For that one, I'm using an annotation at the help of with the rate REST resource. REST resource, I'm specifying that URL mapping. URL mapping equals to, I'm indicating that /, accounts service, okay, slash star. So now here I have prepared, okay, a web service class with the name account records server. This is the class name. Whenever if the third party people wants to access my class, they have to use this resource name. They no need to aware of my actual class name. They should be able to access my class by using just this particular resource name. Now, so in this case, I'm going to be providing the web service method. That means the business logic. So what is the use of my requirement? My requirement is I would like to collect all the account records, okay, from the account object. That means inside this organization, whatever the account records are available, all the account records I would like to access by using this web service class. This web service class should expose all the account records available inside my account object. Then how can we do that? Now let's see. For that one, define that method. Global static. So now here in this case, return type I'm leaving it as empty. Okay, I will specify the return type here. Okay, I will tell you what type of return type we need to specify. So now I'm indicating the method name as get all accounts. So now what this method will do basically, this method is going to be collecting all the account records available inside the object, and then it has to return those records. Now, for that one, I'm going to be preparing the list collection, list of account. How can we collect the account record? By making an SOQL query. LST accounts equals to new, sorry. I'm writing this SOQL query. Select ID of the account, name of the account, rating, annual revenue, phone, facts, type, ownership, customer priority, and active status from account. From account, I'm indicating order by name. So now this is the SOQL query which I'm preparing over here.
Sir, why you use order by, sir?
I'm using this order by class because to arrange account records in the ascending order based on the name column. Okay, as part of SOQL queries, all the methods we have discussed, all the classes we have discussed, where class, order by, limit, offset, everything we have discussed. Okay,
Yes, sir.
nothing new, everything is already discussed. But I'm exposing this functionality to the outside of that organization. That means to third-party system. That's it, nothing else. Now, so now here I'm collecting all the account records available inside my account object, and then I'm arranging those records based on the name column in ascending order. Then how many records it will collect from the object? Multiple. So that I'm using this collection. So I want to return this complete records to my third-party system. Return LST account. Return LST account. That means this method has to return. So what it is returning? LST accounts. LST account is of type what? List of accounts. So that here I'm giving the return type as, okay, list of account. Okay, so global static. So now this method name is get all accounts. Once account records has been collected from the object, it will store inside the collection. This entire collection, it is passing to the third party system. So this method is going to be returning the records, okay, in the form of list of account. So in order to get this, in order to invoke this method, that means by using this method, what we are doing, we are collecting the record. That means we are getting the record. So that define that method with the help of an annotation HTTP get. That's it. Simple. Over. Nothing else. 2 lines of code additionally we have written. 2 lines of code. What are those two lines? First one is rest resource, second one get. Now tell me, except these two lines of code, do we have anything new here? Nothing. Everything is same old story, same story. Nothing different. But to make this functionality to be exposing to the third-party systems, we are going to be adding some additional layers on this. Just we are going to be exposing this particular web service complete class to the third-party system by using this resource name, and then they can invoke this method by using that annotation called as HTTP get. That means this is the get annotation which is used to get the records from the object, okay, by using this web service class. This is the functionality. That's it, nothing else. Now, so now my web service class is done. Then how can we test this web service class? Now let's see. So in order to invoke this web service class, we are going to be using a feature called as workbench tool. Workbench is a very, very efficient tool. It's a very efficient tool, very easy to use tool, okay, which is having a very easy to use graphical user interface. It's more flexible. 99% of the Salesforce developers are using workbench tool. Okay, now, so workbench is a third-party tool which is used to connect your Salesforce instance, and we can perform all the operations. Like we can insert some records, we can update the records, delete the records, fetch the records also, we can do the deployment, we can invoke the web services, everything we can do that here. Okay, that facility is available. So then how can we invoke this web service? Okay, now let me show you practically here by using workbench. So go to the browser, go to the Google, we can use that tool. Type that information workbench. It will provide that URL called as workbench.developerforce.com. Okay, workbench. It is indicating the first URL workbench.developerforce.com. Click on this workbench.developerforce.com. So now in this case, it is asking you to connect to your environment. To which Salesforce environment you want me to connect. So it is providing the two options over here, production or sandbox. Our developer edition I want to connect. Developer edition is a production. So select that production and then select the checkbox. I agree to the terms of service. Click on login with Salesforce. Click on login with Salesforce. Now it is making a request to that Salesforce, okay, Salesforce application, that okay, Salesforce application, please allow me to connect. Now it is indicating that allow access. So workbench is asking to access your basic information provided, okay, provide to access your data. So that means what? It is going to be indicating that workbench application is asking you to connect to your Salesforce account to access some data from there to perform some operation. Do you want me to allow or not? If you want to allow, then you can click on allow. If you don't want to allow, then you can specify deny. I want to allow because here I would like to invoke the web service from that. So click on allow. Now, it is providing a simple user interface to you. Here we are having so many options. Like when you go to this tool, you will be having that. It is clearly indicating here. Let's see. Okay, it has connected to your Salesforce account over here. So now training batch at Forces Incorporation, nothing but training that batch. That means it has connected to your Salesforce account, okay, which is having that username with, okay, username is, first name is training, last name is batch. Your organization name is Forces Incorporation, and what is your organization ID to which it has connected? Now, when you place the mouse pointer, it is indicating that. Instance is okay, ap16 dot okay, salesforce.com. This is your organization ID, user ID. That means it has connected to your Salesforce organization. This is the organization ID to which it has connected. This is the user ID through which user it has connected here. Okay, now. So now in this case here, if you want to perform the operation here, we are having so many menus. SO cable query is available. SOSL is also available. If you want to perform the DML operations, we are having so many operations are available. Migrations also we can able to do. Utilities, here we are having an option called as REST Explorer, nothing but which is used to invoke the RESTful web services which are available inside your organization. So whatever the RESTful web services are available inside that Salesforce instance, if you want to invoke it, then we are using this REST Explorer tool. REST Explorer is an option feature which has been given by the Workbench tool, which is used to invoke the RESTful web services, okay, from your Salesforce account. Now, click on this REST Explorer. Now, so now here it is indicating this information. So now specify that, okay, URL, okay, specify the URI. In order to access that web service, then what is the URI we need to use? Okay, this is the web service which I have built. So now in order to access this web service, we are going to be using that URI. So what is that URI? This is having AP16 server. So we have to use that URI as, okay, HTTPS ap16.salesforce.com/services/apex rest slash, and then we can specify the resource name. So we no need to specify up to salesforce.com, it is preparing automatically. And from there, we have to specify /services/apex rest / what is my resource name? My resource name is accounts service. Accounts service. So this is my resource name. In order to invoke this resource, we have to specify that /services/apex rest and then your resource name. So in this case, which method you want to invoke? This is the web service method which I would like to invoke. So now this method is what? It is a get method. Okay, it is a get method. So select that method type over here. Which type of method you are going to be invoking right now? So you want to invoke the get method or post method or put or patch or delete or what? What method you are going to invoke? I want to invoke a method which is having the annotation, okay, HTTP get. So that select that method type as get method here. Click on execute. Once you click on execute, it is going to be invoking this web service. So as soon as whenever I'm going to be invoking this button, it will be invoking the web service which we have prepared. So now here we don't know the actual class name. We don't know the actual method name. Just we are going to be knowing that resource name along with that method type. What is that method type? This is the get method here. So now we are specifying that get, okay, so that we can able to get that here. So it is invoking that web service. So now this web service is going to be collecting all the account records. It will be returning those records over here. Now it is showing these records over here. It will display all the records here. Whatever the account records are available, all the records it is displaying here. Accounts queuable class. This is the account record. This is one account record. It is having the ID column, name, value, rating, annual revenue, phone, fax, customer, priority, active status, everything. Then how it is returning generally, it will be returning in the form of, okay, JSON format. It will return the response in the form of JSON format. So how it is returning, just you can select that option, show raw response. Once you click on show raw response, it is showing this response in the form of JSON format here. This is the JSON format of response. So from starting over here, this is the data. That means this entire account records information will be returning in the form of JSON format. Now, let me go to this notepad. Okay, this is the information. So which it has written. So this is the starting. Okay, starting is this is the brace. This braces is nothing but array. This is the array. Why? Because is how many records it is returning? Multiple. So if you want to store multiple, we need an array. So inside this array, this is the first record here. Up to this is the first record. This is one record information. Okay, this is the account record type, and this is the record name. Account / this is the ID of that account record. So it is indicating that whole information: ID of the account record, name, rating value, annual revenue, phone number, fax number, priority, active status, everything. And then second account record. This is the second account record. This is the second record details: Aditya Kumar, rating value, annual revenue, phone number, fax number, everything. And then this is the third account record. This is the third account record, which it has written to you. The third account record affects the sharing account record. and here the fourth record here. Like that, here we can able to collect all the records available inside my account object over here by using this RESTful web service. So this is the format it returns to you. Once the data has been written by this particular web service, okay, we need to parse this content. This is the JSON format of content. We'll see what exactly the JSON format, how to parse this content, we'll see. Okay, after this web services, we'll see that concepts also. How to parse that JSON format and how can we show this data on my Visualforce page in the tabular format, we'll see practically over there.
So
this is the responsibilities to you.
So what is the use of to extracting these records for third party?
Because third-party application wants to utilize these records.
Okay? that is fine, but you are extracting data using Workbench, right?
Right.
So how the third-party people will use through this method?
Now this data they are going to storing in their applications, in their databases for the further communications. Like for example, come to a general scenario. Assume that today I want to withdraw some money from my bank account. I'm having ICICI bank account. But in my hometown, I don't have any ICICI bank ATM. Then what we can do, I will go to some SBI bank account and then I would like to swipe my card. I would like to withdraw the money. So in this case, what will happen? I will go to that SBI bank ATM. SBI bank ATM is having SBI software, nothing but SBI banking application is available. Whenever I'm swiping that card, it will read that card number. Based on that, SBI bank application will make a request to that ICICI bank application, because this is the ICICI bank card. It will make a request to the ICICI bank application by passing this particular card number. Then ICICI bank application will receive this card number. Based on that, it will return the complete card details to that SBI bank. So in this card details, what it will return? It won't return the whole information. It will return whatever the information is required. Like ICICI bank application will collect that card number. Based on the card number, it will go to the database. It will collect the customer name also, and then the PIN number also, and then the branch information and the balance amount, whatever they have inside that. Okay, the whole information it will collect. Now this information will be sending to the SBI bank. SBI bank will collect the details. It will show on the screen to you. And then we can able to, okay, it will be once the data has been collected, it is providing that information to you on the screen. So we can enter the PIN number also. We can select the transaction. We can able to withdraw the money. Then it will be indicating that as soon as once you click on that yes button to withdraw the money, some 10,000 rupees, immediately the SBI bank item will be making that request to that ICICI bank application. So in this particular account, please deduct some 10,000 rupees over here. Then in this case, the money will be deducting from that ICICI bank. It will be giving the confirmation, boss, I have deducted the 10,000 rupees from his account. So please provide the money to that person over here. Then SBI bank application will receive this particular data, and based on that, the money will be giving to you. From there, it will be tracking one entry inside that SBI bank application. Today we have given some 10,000 rupees to one of the ICICI bank customer. So now this is the customer details here. So then by end of the day, what they will do, the SBI bank application will be tracking all the details. So now how many ICICI bank customers has withdrawn the money from this ATM? Then they will collect the whole information. This information they are sending to the SBI bank, ICICI bank people. So now today, okay, 100 members has visited our SBI bank ATM. Okay, all are your customers only. All are having ICICI bank accounts. We have given the money, so please give that money to us, because we have given the money to those people. So please transfer the money to our SBI bank so that they will be having the transactions over there.
Okay.
How the internal functionality will be happening over there. So whenever if you want to extend the multiple applications to change some data, then we have to give it this integration.
So here our job is only just write the web services class and no, from here from Workbench we have to execute, or is there any?
Yes, from the Workbench we have to invoke this one for the testing purpose only. For the testing purpose only, we are going to be using this. The Workbench tool.
How we will provide a real-time account records to?
That's what the same code we are deploying to the production. That's it. And along with that, We are providing this endpoint URL. Whatever the endpoint URL is available, along with this endpoint URL, we are going to providing the method also, what type of method it is. Okay, what type of method it is. And then how the data will be returning to that particular third-party application. What exactly the JSON response format over here. What is that client ID? Client is secret. Consumer key. We are providing this information to the third-party application.
How does it work if we want only accounts, let's say with rating hot, for example, only certain criteria?
Now we can able to specify here the conditions. We can specify. We can pass the parameters also. That possibility is available.
And the SQL query we
Yes.
pass the values. Yeah.
Yes. We can pass the values. I will show you each and every example. Now, for example, let me explain one small scenario. Assume that I'm planning for a travel plan from Hyderabad to Bangalore. I'm looking for a flight. Then what we can do? How can we do that? For example, here we are having so many travel applications are available. For example, I'm using an application called as Make My Trip. Okay, Make My Trip is an application. Now tell me, what is this particular organization? What these people will do? These people are offering any flights? They're having any flights?
No.
They're having their own. They're having their own hotels.
No.
They're having their own trains, buses. No, nothing. It's a third-party organization. That's it. So what these people will do? Because these people are going to be collecting the data from the various flight reservation organizations and from the various travel agencies, from the hotel management people. They're going to be interacting. So in this case, this is one of the application where, for example, I'm selecting some Hyderabad to Bangalore. I want to travel. When on, okay, I want to travel on, okay, November some 28th. Okay, November 28th, only 1%. When I click on this search button, what it will do, then it is going to be collecting all these details from a location to location, departure date, and then the number of passengers information. It will collect this four information. This four information will be passing to all the travel agencies web services. Because they're having that, okay, they're having, like, for example, now let me explain so that you can understand more. So now we are having so many, okay, flight reservation, okay, flight organizations are available. Like we have the various organizations who are providing the flights to travel the people from one location to another location. Now, so like for example, we have various organizations. Like we are having some SpiceJet.
No. My question is, your testing purpose we are executing in Workbench. Okay.
Right.
In real time, how we are doing that execution?
Now, in the real time also, we have to do the testing through Workbench only. Okay. So now, because we are exposing this to the third-party application, that's it. Those people will consume your web service. That's it. Okay. They are using their own code, Java programming, .NET programming, whatever they want, they can use.
So after creating a class, global class and method, so we just provide the URL. That's it.
Yes, we are going to be providing the URI. That means URL. This is also called as endpoint URL. Endpoint URL, and then we are specifying that method name. Whether it is a get method or put method or what, we can specify. And then we are specifying the client ID. This is also called as consumer key. And then we are providing the client is secret. This is also called as consumer secret. Okay, these are the four information we are providing to the third-party application. So along with that, we are going to be providing the format of response format. In which format it is sending that response over here, so that they can pass.
So you will show this example, right?
This entire thing. That's what here I will show you that. Okay, these are the practical things. Okay, as part of this OAuth authentication, I will show you practically how can we invoke these web services. Okay, by using your own, okay, Apex programming. From the Apex programming, how to invoke, I will show you practically. There we have to follow all these architectures over there. Okay, here we need to generate that. how to generate that client ID, client secret, and endpoint URL, and what are the various authorization server URLs are available, how to invoke, everything I will show you practically.
Okay, okay. So if you show that make my trip example also, as a
That
developer,
is also simple. That is also simple for you.
yeah, we see concept wise we can understand, but practical wise we need to see how to map that one, right?
That's what.
Okay.
Okay. So in this case, it is providing this whole response in the form of JSON format. Okay. This is the JSON format of response will be sending by the web service to the third party people, and the third party people has to consume this JSON format of response. They have to parse. They have to parse this information into their object format they can show in their applications wherever they want. Okay. Now.
So third party will read this JSON format data.
Right.
Okay.
The third party people will read this JSON format of data. They have to parse. For that one, there are some separate classes are available. For parsing this JSON format of data into your own format, we have so many other classes. For Salesforce, we are having there is a class called as JSON parser class. Okay, by using JSON parser class, we can parse. How to do that? I will show you practically.
So third party people will connect to to link and key all these authorization keys to the workbench tool, and they will fetch the their
Data.
format, right? That's
Yes.
it, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Now. I'm indicating this. Now the method. The method name is get method. Okay. So this is how we are going to be preparing the RESTful web services. Next.
So we
So let
have
me
a
show you one more.
yeah, we have a Salesforce account, right? That's why we don't need to give complete path, right?
Yes, right.
So third
Because
party people used to give full path.
yes, third party people has to give this complete path. This complete path they have to provide.
Okay, in their program they have to use the complete path. Okay.
Yes, right. Now, so let me take one more small use case. For example, I want to collect all the hiring manager records available inside my object whose location is Bangalore. So I want to create a web service class which expose all the hiring manager records whose location is from Bangalore. Now let's see how can we do that. So to create a RESTful web service to expose all the hiring manager records which are associated with Bangalore location. Bangalore location. So I want to collect all those hiring managers, okay, who are working from Bangalore location over here. So now these records I want to expose to the third-party system through with the help of a web service. Then how can we do that? Now let's see. Now, let me create a web service class now. Hiring manager records service. This is the class which I'm preparing right now over here. Now, so what we need to do? First of all, we have to make this class as global. Okay, we have to make this class as global class, and then specify the resource name at the rate REST resource. @RestFul source, and then specify the URL mapping. URL mapping equals to, I'm indicating slash hiring manager service. I'm indicating this hiring manager service. This is the resource name which I have given. So whenever the third party people wants to invoke this web service, they have to use the resource name as hiring manager service. I'm preparing a method. So which is having HTTP GET. Because this method is going to be exposing some data. Now for that one, define the method. Global static. It is exposing some list of hiring manager records. So list of hiring manager. Okay. Get Bangalore HR records. I'm giving them a name as get Bangalore HR records. I'm preparing this method. Now, this method has to collect all the hiring manager records available inside my organization or inside my object whose location is Bangalore. So let me go to the fields. What are the fields are available inside my hiring manager object? In my hiring manager object, we are having few fields like as hiring manager name, location name, and the contact number, and then email ID. These are the fields are available. Let me fetch. So now list of hiring manager. LST HR records equals to, I'm fetching those records. Select ID of the hiring manager, name, location name, email ID, comma contact number from hiring manager, from hiring manager, where location name equals to Bangalore. Okay, I'm giving that condition where location name equals to Bangalore. So whatever the hiring manager's information whose location is equals to Bangalore, I'm collecting all those hiring managers information. Then I would like to return LST HR records. Return LST HR records. So I'm going to be exposing all these hiring manager records whose location is equals to Bangalore. Okay, that's it. Simple concept. So we are collecting the records from this object by using an SQL query, and then those records I'm going to be returning to that respective third-party system. Now, so upon sending this data, I want to arrange. Now, so in this case, I'm going to be exposing this record. Whatever the hiring manager records are available inside my hiring manager object, I'm going to be exposing all these records to the third-party system. Now, so once the web service is ready, then what we need to do? We need to test this web service. So this is my resource name. Okay, this is my resource name, which I would like to invoke from the workbench tool. Now, so now here in this case, so now in this case, I'm going to be invoking this web service from the workbench tool. So now what is the endpoint URL for this one? So we are going to be using https ep16.salesforce.com/services/apex-rest/this resource. And the method type is what? Get method. This is the HTTP method which I'm going to call. Now let's see. Let's go to that. So let's specify this resource name. So what is my resource name? My resource name is hiring manager service. Here the method type is get method. Click on execute. Now let me log in again. So specify that apex rest slash specify the resource name. This is the method get method. Click on execute. So which will be invoking that particular web service. That web service is going to be returning all the records available inside my hiring manager object. Okay, whose location is equals to Bangalore. So when you click on show raw response, this data we can see in the form of the JSON format. So we can able to see this information inside this JSON format. So these are the various HR people are available working from Bangalore. This is the HR Bangalore. This is the second HR Bangalore. This is the third person Bangalore. This is the fourth person Bangalore. This is the fifth person Bangalore. Like that here, only the Bangalore related HR people's information is written, not the remaining people. This is how we can able to collect the required resources, okay, by invoking the web service from the workbench tool. Okay, now.
So instead of star, we have to pass Bangalore.
Sorry?
So in the class, how can we pass parameters?
I will show you. For that one, we have to use two separate classes. Okay, we have to use the two separate classes: REST request, REST response. Two more classes. These two are available inside a separate class called as REST context class. That we'll see in that next session. I will show you that. How can we access that? As of now, we are collecting the values. We are coding the conditions over here. Location name equals to Bangalore. But sometimes what I want to do, I want to pass some parameter. I will pass the location name at runtime. Based on that, it has to fetch the data. Like for example, when you go to some Make My Trip application, it is invoking the data, is collecting the data from the various travel agencies. Like here, it is passing some data over here. These four values it is passing, because from location to location and then date and the number of passengers. It is passing the data over here. Based on the data, it is collecting the data from the third-party application through the web services. So like the similar way, how to pass the parameters to my web service at runtime, I will show you in the next session. For that one, we are using two classes: REST request, REST response classes. First of all, I will discuss those classes information, what parameters are available inside that. Then I will show you the practical use cases. From there, we'll see how to pass the values, not only one, multiple also how to pass. We'll see practically one by one.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, now, so try these examples today. And then the next session, I will take up that few more examples, how to pass the parameters to this one, so that we will complete this get method. Then we'll see the remaining methods: put method, post method, patch method, delete method, everything we'll see one by one, how to perform all these operations.
Sir,
Okay. Now,
excuse me, sir.
yes.
To get the Bangalore account records, we need any permissions from the administrator? Like
No.
permissions?
No, not required. Not required.
Not required.
Okay.
Sir, when we use sandbox, sir?
Sorry?
When we use sandbox?
Generally, when you go to the real time to develop this application, they are going to providing sandbox. Here we are developing inside our local Salesforce environment, right? Like the similar way they're providing a sandbox.
Okay.
Okay.
So next class is when? Tomorrow?
No, tomorrow we don't have the session. Already I told you, right? Sunday we don't have the session. I will be out of session on Sunday. So next session will be on Monday again.
So LWC session is started, right?